I arrived here 3 years ago, still learning the language. English is a very difficult language. And you guys make English even more difficult than it should be. I don't know why. I saw the other day a person saying, don't call me he or she, call me they. And I was like, what the f***? It took me 3 years to learn I am, you are, he is, she is. Be whoever you want. This is a free country and this is amazing. But this whole gender neutral pronoun is confusing for me.
It's funny because it's true.
Now, sir, I can assure you that it is very confusing to those of us who have been speaking the English language our whole lives too, so don't lose any sleep over it. Anyway, that was stand-up comedian Rafi Bastos sharing his experience immigrating to the United States, learning the English language, and getting hit with they-them pronouns. So check this out. At the end of this video, I am going to show you guys about a 3-minute long parody skit from the Babylon Bee, where an alien from outer space comes down to Earth, sits down with our nation's finest leaders, and discusses this whole gender ideology pronoun thing, and it is absolutely hysterical. It is probably the funniest parody skit I've seen in a long time, and it perfectly highlights just how absurd this whole thing is. So stick around, you're not going to want to miss that. In the meantime, we have all kinds of clown world insanity to cover, and I've wasted enough time running my mouth, so let's get into it. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment, this slightly rotund individual goes by the name of Jas, J-A-S, formerly known as Jason. Now, Jas identifies as, you know what, I don't need to tell you, you guys already know. Lesbian dating app, woman's restroom, blah, blah, blah.
I've got more chins than a Chinese phone book.
All right, next up. So normally, this would be easily identified as parody. However, since we are living in this backwards, upside down, bizarro world, also known as clown world, I don't know. I can't tell. The comment says, absolutely ridiculous. He is human. So if he's a cat, do you take him to the vet? The world's gone bloody mad. Roll it.
My son does identify as a cat, but I cannot take him to a vet because I tried that, and the veterinarian told me that because he has human anatomy, that he does not know how to work on him or diagnose him with anything, and he legally cannot. So, and while I do think that is a form of discrimination, because, you know, my son, if he says he's a cat, he is a cat, and he needs to be treated like that, like one, you know. But I'm not going to press charges because I know that he could lose his license if he did work on my son. So I'm not gonna try to sue him or anything. So don't worry. But this is something that I want to raise awareness on, because I do think that people that identify as an animal should be able to go to the vet. You know, that's the medical attention that they're wanting. And so I really do appreciate you asking this question. I think it's an important topic that we discuss, because if we don't, we're never going to make progress. And these people that identify as cats are going to have to continue going to human doctors. And I just don't think that that's fair.
That is the stupidest thing I ever heard of. Jesus Christ.
Now listen, I wish I could say with absolute certainty that lady was just doing a bit, that she was just joking around. But after what we've seen over the past 2, 3, 4 years with them putting litter boxes in schools, identifying as birds and other kin and all this other stuff, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, next up. So this fella calls himself, and these are his words, not mine, his words, a board-certified homosexual. And you know what? That's fine. If you're gay, great. Do your thing. I hope you live a very long and happy life. However, I think it should be kept a little more private and personal. I don't understand why these people are shouting it from the rooftops, but that's just me. Call me old-fashioned. However, what he says after that, I don't understand. Is he trying to be a provocateur? Who's he talking to? Check it out. Roll the film.
Hi, my name is Kenneth, and I'm a board-certified homosexual. And it's my somber and proud duty to inform you that you're gay. Yep. You. Little gay person in my phone. Yep.
In your circle, I'm sure you got all kinds of gays and trans whatevers of all stripes, but not where I come from.
Hey, real quick, I just wanted to remind you guys that if you're enjoying the videos, you like the content, you want to help support the channel, grabbing one of these t-shirts is a great way to do it. And listen, every time I see former Vice President Joe Biden speaking now, it gets worse and worse. And at this point, it's just really sad. Shame on his family for putting him through this. And to be honest with you, there's probably, 8 or 10 other politicians' faces we could put on this t-shirt too. But for now, we're going to stick with the one at the top, former VP Joe Biden. So there will be a link in the description box below. I also have some other very cool designs you can check out as well.
Yes! That's awesome!
All right, next up. So this young lady who lives in Australia thinks that there are too many American flags in this country. She sees it problematic that Americans like to display our flags. Roll it.
I'm just going to say it. There are too many American flags. Like, they're on houses, they're on cars, saw them on couch cushions. Like, I don't know who's making these American flags, but they'd be making a bloody fortune. And, like, you're the only country that I know that does this. Like, the only time I think I've ever seen an Australian flag is, like, on the Harbour Bridge. Could not tell you what it looks like. Like, I know it's, like, blue and it's got some stars on it. But I think I could draw the American flag from memory. Like, I think I could make a bloody sculpture out of it. That's how many times I've seen it. It's enough. Let's pull back on it, okay? Let's stay humble.
No offense, but it sounds like some f***ing commie gobbledygook.
Now, I think it bears repeating that that young lady is in Australia, where they literally built camps during the scamdemic, pandemic, sorry. And they put people in them. Anyway, next up. So this is a teacher who is about to tell us what pronoun fluid is. Roll it.
What is pronoun fluid? So I have a student and their pronouns change. Some day they are they, them. Other days he is he, him. Other days she is she, her. Their pronouns are fluid. Not everyone that is non-binary has fluid pronouns. I always go by he, him, for example.
That's it! Hold it right there! Pronoun trouble.
Now, I wonder if teachers like that even realize that these TikToks they do are fantastic advertisements for homeschooling, right? Anyway, next up, we are about to hear a super based take from a black woman who explains why using the term cis is pointless, and I couldn't agree with her more. Roll it.
To the ladies that do not like to be referred to as a cisgender woman.
All right, don't come in my comments with no bullshit, because I do like to tussle. Here's the example I got for you. You got coffee, and you got decaffeinated. When you go to Starbucks, who says, "Can I have a caffeinated coffee?" No one. Why? Because coffee, without any other adjective added to it, because none is needed, is in its natural form, and its natural form is caffeinated. Decaffeinated needs the differentiation because it is not in its original form.
Wait a minute. That's the smartest thing I've ever heard anyone say about anything.
All right, real quick before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen for your viewing pleasure, of course. I don't know if this person's trying to be a real life Barbie or what, but that is too much. It's just too damn much. Oof. Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by Ashley Levitt. Ashley is a fellow Mainer, so Ashley, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate the support. Now, if you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below. And I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. Get this off the screen, please. Oof.
You look ridiculous.
All right, guys, we are going to be wrapping it up on this one. And like I said earlier, this is a parody skit from the Babylon Bee. Now, I will link the whole thing in the description box below. It's about 5.5 minutes long. I'm only going to play about 3 minutes of it, but if you want to check out the whole thing, I will put a link to that below. I'm also going to put a link to the comedian you heard at the beginning, to it's about a 10-minute stand-up comedy act. I'll link that below because I obviously want to give these people credit for the work that they do. But this is glorious. This is the funniest skit. You got to watch it. You got to watch it. Anyway, guys, things are clearly getting crazy out there. So please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time. Love you guys. Peace. Roll it.
What you're talking about is sex. Gender is something different.
Exactly. People can identify with genders different than their natal sex or with none at all.
But why?
It's just the way we feel.
No! It was the way we're born.
Well, of course, a lot of times they don't realize how they were born until someone tells them. Someone like a teacher or social media influencer.
And what exactly are these various genders? You have me very curious.
Well, there's non-binary, which is someone who identifies as both genders.
Doesn't saying identifies both genders imply that there are only two genders?
No, it's... Shut up.
Actually, it's genderqueer. That is the term that refers to people who identify as both genders. You know, like my nephew.
I thought that was gender fluid, like my niece.
No, that shifts around.
No, bigender shifts around, like my stepson.
Well, it can.
Well, unless you're Native American, in which case it's two-spirit. Like my cousin, who got into Harvard because they's 1/16 Native American.
Oh, I understand. On this planet, there are people who are men, and people who are women, and people who are mentally ill.
I can understand that it's confusing. It can be difficult to keep track of all the different genders. There's so many of them. There's gender vague, there's gray gender, demigender, oddygender, omnigender, polygender, and about 10 different kinds of trans. And those are just the ones that my nephew has identified as in the last month. There's also bigender, which is two genders, those genders being male and female, or a combination of all genders, including agender, which is no gender at all. So
Space
you
interjection.
can actually simultaneously be no gender at all plus a gender. It's pretty cool, huh?
The planet has no sign of intelligent life. Official recommendation, destroy.
No, please don't destroy us! We don't deserve this!
Oh, there's that look. Well, sorry.
We are so f***ed. And you ain't black.